What up guys, it's Ben. I'm out here working on the car and spoilers, the engine is out, so you'll get to see that in some footage coming up very soon. But today I wanted to do something a little different. One of my good friends, Grant, who has been living in Japan for the past couple of years, was talking with me and we came up with the idea to do a collaboration video series talking about what it's like to be a car guy in Japan, some of the awesome perks, as well as some of the unexpected frustrations about trying to live the dream over there. So this is the first video in that series. Check it out, let us know what you think, and if you have questions for me about what I'm up to here in America, or Grant for what he's up to in Japan, let us know in the comments, and we can reply with a video in the future. Peace.
停車駅は新浦安、南船橋、海浜幕張と海浜幕張からの各駅です。
What's up, Kame Life? It is good to be back. For those of you who have no idea who I am, allow me to elaborate on that just a little bit. My name is Grant, and whether you can still get Ben to actually admit it or not, I am the original second member of Kame Trick 2009, despite having been absent since 2012, but that's another story for another day. Except actually it's not, because why did I disappear? Well, I came here. Welcome to Tokyo. This is where I have been for the past 5 years, and why I'm making this now. I want to give a little guide for all of the people who want to come here for the same reason I did, at least partially, because we're looking for car culture. And let's be honest, Japan is kind of famous for that. I imagine there are a lot of people who are in JET or in other programs trying to find their way here who are really passionate about cars, and that's part of what drives them to come here. And I completely get that. I mean, it's why I did it as well. And while there are a lot of options for how-to guides to get used to Japan, to figure out everything you need to do to get ready to move here, to do once you get here, I feel like there's not much for car people to know what to expect. So that's what I'm here to try and give you some insights on, and also just show you a bit of my life, show you what happens here. So, part 1. Let's just go ahead and get kind of all of the irritating, depressing, annoying stuff out of the way first. And then we'll get to the fun part. What do you need to know to be a car person in Japan? The irritating bits. First off, as I was just reminded of a few hours ago, be prepared to be hassled by the 5-0. I was just randomly pulled over by the police, and they took about 10 minutes to go through the whole interior of my car to make sure I wasn't carrying, and I quote, knives or anything else suspicious, because I'm an American and apparently that's what we do.
You lose!
So, point 1 to watch out for. If you come to Japan and you want to drive, be aware that at some point you will probably get stopped for the offense of driving while foreign. Nothing's going to happen as long as you're sensible, so just be nice to them about it, but it will probably happen eventually. Irritating point number 2, the driver's license tests. This is something that mostly concerns the Americans in the audience. If you are from a Commonwealth country, or almost any other country in the world, to be honest, you just get to ask, and you do a written test. It's 7 out of 10 questions to pass. You can take it in English if you're in Tokyo or a major city, and honestly, I got 9 out of 10 the first time without trying, and the tester was amazed at how quickly I was done. That part's cake. The road test is another animal. Basically, be prepared to play to their rules. As the instructor told me in the beginning of the test, it's about proving that you can be safe, not necessarily how good of a driver you are. So they'll explain what they want you to do, and be excessively cautious. It's on a closed course, and I intend to make a detailed video about exactly what to expect and what to do and what not to do, based on my experience, in the future. Last thing to be aware of on the less good side when it comes to being a car person in Japan, it is expensive. It'll be less bad the farther out in the country you are, but if you are in Tokyo, or, well, especially Tokyo, but any major city, It's going to cost you a lot to park, it's going to cost you a lot to buy a car, it's going to cost you a lot to register a car. Fortunately, the cars themselves are okay. It's not that expensive and most things are pretty nice, but purchasing process is not great. And again, I intend to make a detailed video in the future about what the process was for the 5 weeks that it took me to get my Starlet paid for and into my possession. But again, that's for the future. So for now, those are the 3 things that you should just be aware of. It's not all sunlight, roses, and turbos once you get here. There's the police to deal with, there's a lot of paperwork to deal with, and there's some kind of irritating and very, very anal tests to deal with. But if I can do it, I know absolutely anybody can. Anybody can pass it with some drive. No pun intended there, actually.
Perfect.
So, that's a wrap for my intro to this little series. I hope you guys are interested, and I hope to be able to bring you a lot more from this side of the world. Stay tuned for, first off, the perks of having a car here, and why it's awesome, and I recommend it to anyone who's an enthusiast, because it's a car in Japan. It's cool. As well as, like I said before, detailed videos on what to expect from the driving test, what to expect from the buying process, what kind of cars to look for, and how to find them. Hopefully someday, Ben will come over and join me. Thanks very much. I will talk to you again in the future. Good night.